Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Thanksgiving Day, November 24th, 2022. And as many of you already know, I'm not doing a live stream tonight, so don't worry about trying to get it. We'll go ahead and, do the one next Thursday. But for today, I've been busy in the train room, or the train shed, as it were, printing some more. I've been doing a lot of printing here lately. And what I'm working on is the overhead passenger rail system that I'm putting in place. It's very similar to what you would see in New York City or even Chicago, because they have overhead rails for their subway system. So while some of it's underground, some of it's above ground, of course there won't be any underground here. It'll all be above ground. And I'm going to show you in a minute with another camera what I've been doing and how it's probably going to look. And remember, this is all rough draft so far. I still have to paint and weather the supports, the girder system, the rails themselves. Everything has to be done. And realistically, I don't see it getting done before January of 23. It could, but it's unlikely. Because realistically, I probably need an additional somewhere between 150 and 200 hours of printing time to print out all the pieces that I need. For example, where'd it go? Ugh. This is a straight girder, and it takes 2 hours to print this. I need about, probably about 70, 80 of these things. And then of course I've got the curve sections for these here. These take 2 hours to print, almost 2.5 hours. And I need, let's see, there's 6, I need 24 of these at least. Possibly 26, not sure yet. I may have to jog on the other side. Because what happens is I build a piece that's literally, this is a semi-completed section. And this is 4 pieces here that make basically a 90 degree. So I've got to make at least 4 of those. So there's 4, 8, 12, 16 pieces just for the 4 corners. And like I said, I may have to do a quick jog on the other side. Hard to tell yet, but I have to prepare for it either way. Then of course, then you've got the, I don't know if you can see them on the printer there. I'm printing out the big supports, the wide supports for the curves. I can't use the traditional thinner ones. I gotta have one that spans over two layers of track. So that was important. And I've got to produce, let's see, I've got 3 made so far. And I still got to add, really should add more on these corners. I need 1, 2, 3, I need 5 on each curve. And those take 2 hours to print. 2 hours is the magic number here. So you start up adding up all the 2 hour here, 2 hour there, 2 hour there. You're looking at some serious hours. Like I said, between 150 and possibly 200 hours of printing time. And of course, I don't bother printing at night because in 2 hours the print's finished, and I'm not going to come back out here every 2 hours in the middle of the night to restart the printer. So I just shut it down before I go home at night, which is generally around 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. And then when I get out here, which is generally around 10, 11 o'clock, sometimes 12, I'll restart the printer again. So she's running full time for the most part during my waking hours. But it's still going to take quite a bit of time. Now I just ordered 2 more spools of the the Sunlu filament. I get those for $20 each spool plus tax. So it works out to 21 something for each spool. Free shipping from eBay. And that's a make offer deal because they actually want almost $23 for each spool. And I make an offer and I always buy 2 at a time. So the guy gives them to me for 20 bucks each plus tax. It's a good deal. And it's a very good filament, so I haven't had any issues with it yet. And this spool of filament goes pretty far, but when you're doing that much printing, it doesn't seem to go as far as you'd like. So consequently, I may take a break to do some minor printing jobs for other people. Because I know some of you guys are wanting things. I'll try and get them to you in a timely manner. But overall, I'm trying to take priority of this project because I'd really like to get it operational. And of course, I still have to buy a locomotive. You know, an Amtrak DCC loco with sound probably won't be cheap. I'm looking at probably in the neighborhood of $300. And probably at least 5 passenger cars. And I think they're around 70, 80 bucks each because I want to get lighted ones. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get the double level or the single level yet. I haven't decided. It depends on money, as usual. So it might be a couple of months, maybe even 3 or 4 months before I can afford to actually get the entire consist going. But at least I'll have the track laid, and plus I got to buy track too. So I'm looking at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Probably looking at 8 or 9 pieces for each side, the long side and the long side, because that's 26 feet, I think, in length. And 3 foot lengths, you know, I'll just buy flex track and not fool around with it. I have some curves, so I might not need to put the flex track on the curves because they are 24-inch radius, 24-degree radius, so I might be okay on that because I got a whole bunch of curved track. I don't have any straight track. I think I've got maybe 2 or 3 pieces of 3-foot flex track, so I'm going to have to buy more. But like I said, once I get the main support structure done, then I can worry about track and locos and what have you. So right now the trick is I would like to have all the supports done all the way around the layout by probably 1st of January if I could pull it off. If not, it'll probably be middle to the end of January. I'm not sure yet. Really depends how much time I can put into this, you know. And remember, I do have a life, so I still have to work on my car. The air conditioner laid down on it. I have to replace the compressor and the accumulator. And of course, new Freon, new oil. It's just, you know, it came at the wrong time, but when's ever a right time for something like that, right? So in between this, I'm going to be working on that too. And plus I have things to do in the house. I mean, I could be busy for the rest of my life probably. If I live another 30 years, I'll be busy through it. So, you know. But anyway, but like I said, this is kind of a priority for me. I want to get it done. But there is a lot of work to do because even after I have it, I'm going to do partial assemblies. And I'll take them outside, spray paint everything. I'm going to do something like maybe aqua blue or aqua green. Very similar to what's actually in New York and Chicago, the same color scheme. And then I'll weather it from there. You know, age it out a little bit, maybe show some rust here and there. So there's a lot of work to be done. But the biggest job, like I said, is all the printing. I wish I had a bank of printers, right, so I could knock this out in no time, but I'm not going to buy 4 or 5 printers just to shave some money down, shave some time down. Although it is tempting, believe me. So anyway, that's where we're at. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to put you over to the other camera. I'll show you what I've been doing. And I'll be back as soon as that's over. So stand by. Alright, so here we are. You started on the overhead passenger rail. Now the Trump train up there is just representative of what's going to be up there. I won't actually be using the Trump train. It'll be Amtrak. But I've started the curve. Now I still have to weather all of this. I've got my supports up. I got to make new supports. You can see that right there. I had to make wider ones to clear both tracks. So actually it clears 3 tracks. So but I had to do it that way just for the curves. Now I still got to do the straight girders yet. And we're going to tilt down just a little bit more. And there's another one of these supports. And there's a lot of supports. There's another one, and they're literally everywhere. So they go all the way down. We'll zoom into that a little. That's as long as we can zoom in. And it's going to go all the way around all the way around. So that's the plan. That's what I'm talking about. And it's going to work out really nice. It's going to probably take me at least a month to print all this stuff up and lots of filament. But it's coming along pretty good. And I'm very impressed with it. Now let me switch cameras again and we'll go from there. And one more thing to look at too, of course, like I said, the printer is running constantly. I'm printing the wide support now. This has about another hour to go before it's finished. It's a 2-hour print, give or take a few minutes. And I'm using actually an older spool of filament that I want to use up and get rid of. It's a little lighter grade than the Sun Lee, but I've got down here 2 boxes of the Sun Lee filament. So I've got plenty of filament for now. Now we are at the back of the layout. There's the beginning of the support for the curve section. I've got to add more in. I've got the narrower one will work fine over there. There's one right there. And same thing over here. There's one over here. Now I might actually build a bridge of some sort to go over the lake. Same thing with over here, but it'll be something I'll print up more than likely. And of course over this lake here, which is Pogo River. So because everything's going to be going across, and it's literally going to be right over here, like right over the top of the buildings, going straight across all the way down here. And it'll start to curve down over here. And I'm not sure how I'm going to set up the, I might have to have a separate tip up, because this one here is fine for the lower track, but really won't work for the upper, I don't think. It might. I don't know. I have to wait and see. It would be nice if I could make the whole thing integrated into the tip up. Of course, I'll have to have a limiter on the tip up so that instead of going all the way back, it'll sit up about like that, where it's almost straight up and down, instead of laying over like this. So we'll see when we get to that point. Alright, well let's go back to the other camera and we'll go from there. Alrighty, I'm back at the main camera. So, I didn't want this to be too long, but apparently it's a little longer than I originally planned. However, before ending this, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, a safe Thanksgiving, And appreciate all you tuning into my channel to see what I'm doing here and there. And especially those who tune into my live stream. So I'll see you next Thursday, 6 p.m. as always, Shortline Thursday. And we'll dive even deeper into some of the things I'm doing here, and I'm sure I'll have a lot to show. So in the meantime, eat a bunch of food, play with your trains, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.